Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is the fourth episode and we are discussing the do's and don'ts when drafting a press release. So let's circle back for a moment. You have drafted your marketing plan, you have pitched to DSPs, and you've also now gained access to your DSP profiles. Now it is time to execute some of the stuff that is on the list on your marketing plan or strategy. So the main thing, which is also one of the first things that you're going to do when you are releasing an album, music video, single, even when you are maybe hosting an event, you're having a listening session, this is one of the first things that you are going to do, and it is drafting a press release. A press release is a document that goes out to the media, the public, basically feeding information about an upcoming event. So it's newsworthy information about an event that's about to happen, or in this case, a release, a music release, music video release. So let's get into it. We're going to start with the do's. The do's of a press release. So when you're drafting a press release, make sure that it is themed. So what I mean by that is look at the theme of the song or the album and try to stick to that theme. So if the album is an African album, it celebrates Africanism, then the theme throughout the press release could be around empowering Africans and celebrating Africans as a whole. So you'll also use certain terms, for example. So that's very important. So with that said, your heading is the first thing that people are going to see when they open your press release or when they see your press release. So your heading kind of needs to be captivating. It needs to tell a story in a very quick way because the heading can't be too long. So just by reading the heading, you have to have an idea of what the content is gonna be, and you have to catch the reader's eye and make sure that they actually want to know what this newsworthy information is all about. The second thing is making sure that you add the date. So there are two ways to go about this date thing. So you can add the date of which you send out the press release, or you can add the date of the event that is happening. So if you are releasing, for example, your song on the 8th of November, you can add the 8th of November to your press release. Obviously, adding location as well. So if you're based in Johannesburg, if you're based in Pretoria, if you're based in Mthatha, you'll say Mthatha 8th December, and then for immediate release, the heading, and then you start going. Or you'll say Mthatha 7 December, which is the day, maybe the day before the release, when you'll send out the press release. Obviously for immediate release, heading, and then the content. And that just flows into when is the best time to send out a press release. So the best time to send out a press release is the day before the event. So usually on Thursdays, for music press releases on Thursdays, the press release would go out. Latest would be a Friday morning. So on the day of the release, A lot of publications will always obviously publish on the day of the release. If not, they'll publish a day before. So call to action would be pre-save, and call to action on the day of would be stream, which leads us to the next point. Call to action. Always have a call to action in your press release. Include links. So if you are going to talk about an artist, make sure the artist's name is linked to their social profiles. Maybe a person is opening the press release, the first thing they see is Pablo is releasing blah 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 blah. They have no idea who Pablo is, but my name Pablo is hyperlinked, so when they click on Pablo, it takes them to my profile. So before they even go further, they get an idea of who I am. So always use hyperlink. Call to action is very important. If you are referring to something, make sure that the person can go and check out what you're referring to. So use links to websites, social media, YouTube, pre-save, pre-add. So always add your listen links. If it's out now, streaming link. So always make sure there's a call to action. Make sure that you use high-res images. Add images in your press release. Make sure they are of high quality, so that publications don't also have to come back to you and request images. They can pull it from your press release. If obviously they're not conducting an interview, they'll just publish a press release. They have everything they need on the press release. So meaning you have to also include social media handles, anything that will be needed in order for your press release or an interview to be published. There is one more thing that I actually wanted to add at the do's. About the publishing of the press release. Make sure that you include relevant information. So it's important that the content is intact, that you're not touching on 50 different things, that there is a focus. So it's very important that there is a focus in your press release, highlighting what this information is actually about. What are you trying to what message are you trying to convey to the public through the media? What are you trying to get out there? So your information needs to be very relevant. We're gonna move on to the don'ts of when it comes to drafting a press release. So do not try to make a press release long when it's not necessary. So add information that is necessary, and if it's 2 paragraphs, then it's okay. It's all right. A press release does not need to be 2 pages long or anything like that. It's all about the information that it contains. So don't try to add unnecessary information just to make it seem longer. That's not very wise. And then flowing into the next point, make sure that the information is relevant. So don't add too many past accolades. You know what I mean? You don't want to make the press release kind of seem like it's a biography, because it's 2 different things. So a biography, you go into detail about a person's personal information. So their background, career highlights, accolades, how they got into this field, just detailed information about their journey, basically. But with a press release, it's not necessary to add past accolades. Going back to the do's, you can use terms. So instead of mentioning that, yo, this person has won 50 awards and, you know, has performed in London, you can use terms like award-winning international performer Pablo. You know, it already says a lot. You know, you didn't go back and tell us in detail that this person did this and this, but from those terms, we are aware that this person has graced international stages and they have awards under their belt. So use those terms when it comes to a press release. When it comes to a press release, I always advise, I feel like it's different for agencies, but I don't advise adding booking information. Rather adding PR information. So or marketing, somebody that does your marketing. Reason why is because you want to kind of separate the information overload that comes your way. So when you're sending out a press release, your intention is to get media and press coverage. So if you're adding your booking information, chances are the person who does your booking and your PR is not the same person. So your booking agent is going to get bombarded with PR queries, whereas they should be going to your PR person. Booking information, I would advise you add to your biography, your press kits, even your social media. But when you're sending out a press release, it's really not necessary, but do add your PR agency or person or marketing agency or person's information, so the media can always have a point of contact, you know, when they want to further the interview or just the coverage. So yeah. So do not send a press release post-event. It's always best to send pre-event, or like I mentioned, on the day of the event. Also, on the day, it has to be super early. You don't want to send on the day at 4 p.m. You know, you still want coverage on the day you want to be newsworthy. So don't send a press release post-release unless there's an angle to it, you know. Maybe if you are releasing the single this Friday and the music video next Friday, maybe it might be acceptable to release the press release the following week, combining the two stories together, you know. So unless it is, you know, you have a good reason, it's not wise to send out a press release post-release. Always pre-release or pre-event or anything like that. Sending out a press release, it's always best to send out a press release via email. There are a lot of apps and tools now that are available for email marketing, for example, like MailChimp, where, you know, it's you kind of build your press release or newsletter and you send it out, and it's in a really beautiful format. So format is also important. Make sure that it's visually appealing. You know, if you can, use colors, font. So make sure also don't use crazy fonts so people can be able to read. So use fonts that are readable, that people can be able to read. But yeah, be creative. So layout is also very important. Make sure that your layout is structured. Plan it ahead of time. Maybe even draw it on a piece of paper before you structure it. So that's important. And also how you deliver your press release is important. So the best way to do it is via email. So if you are doing it in an email and you don't have, for example, a tool that can help you to send it out, I always advise that you type the press release in the email body. So not attaching a Word document or PDF, like typing it and building it in the email body. So when you open the email, the body is the press release, and it's also visually appealing, you know. So That is it from me. These are the do's and don'ts to keep in mind when you are drafting your press release. Be creative, and also there are also tools like ChatGPT and Grammarly that helps you with grammar, spelling, and just wording your press release. So use those tools. I mean, some of us, English is not our mother tongue, so it's always best to get assistance. I myself also get assistance from ChatGPT sometimes. You need, when you want to structure a sentence, and you feel that the way you putting it is informal and you want to put it in a more formal way, those tools come in handy. Grammarly, when you feel like, hey, this sentence, I feel like maybe I didn't construct it in a proper way, it helps you put it together. So maximize on those tools. They're there for us to use, so don't feel bad if you're using those tools. Yeah, we all need assistance. But happy drafting, enjoy it. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, make yourself look good, because that is how you portray yourself to the public. A press release is definitely your opportunity to portray yourself the way you want to the public. So be creative, and don't hold back. This was our fourth episode. Hope it was insightful, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Make sure you like, you share, and you leave your comments below this video, and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you get notified every time we post a new video. See you next time.